Yeah, just in case, right? Okay, so for any of you guys who had that error that first started up on Matlab, so one way that we can do this, thanks to Alex, right? Didn't panic, stayed patient, came up with a creative solution. First thing he did was, amid that busy signal that was holding up the Matlab, he pressed Control C and I guess
terminate the program.
Yeah, and it'll terminate the program. I usually do Control X or whatever, but like it'll basically stop that command in its tracks and say, no, I don't need you to do it anymore. Go back to start. And when you do that, it stops it from thinking, and it'll actually spit out in the actual command window some of the errors that it was holding it down. Okay? It'll come up in red text. Now, for some reason, my computer was fine. It didn't have this error, so I can't show it to you down here, but you'll see it in yours when you do it. Okay, so, gentlemen, what's your name?
Jesse.
Jesse. Okay, so I was with Jesse, and I was able to see it on his computer and most of y'all's. And so, what is great about Matlab, and a great way that you troubleshoot, is it'll tell you where the error is and in what file, and not just what file, because sometimes the files that the errors are in are thousands of lines of code long, and it looks like a bunch of gobbledygook. Okay? It tells you what line in the file the error is. So in this case, I believe it's line 45. So what I did is I went to that same file. This is what I'm going to show you now. As essentially, so this is kind of its path directory, and I'll walk you through it. But it's essentially this EEG lab underscore options flow .m, and it's line 45. So it's here, and if you come over, it's looking for a home folder in its code, and it's asking for what basically, what does the home folder equal to? So for some reason, it has something on the user profile as its setting. I don't know what that reason is. That's okay, for now.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, but we will set that to your setting. So it probably has something to do with the fact that it's installed on a shared machine in the computer lab in some sort of administrative setting in that regard. And so it's possible, and this is one reason why I wanted to video this, is because it's possible we might have to do this every time, every class period, and just open up this file, copy paste. Now what did you paste here? So this is actually really useful. So let's talk a little bit about what this means. Okay? So we have something that says essentially apostrophe, and in the middle it says exclamation point, echo, percentage, user profiles, and then it has a bracket, right? Is that a bracket? This is a parenthesis here?
Yeah.
I can't see very clearly on mine, but that's a parenthesis. Okay, and then this is a bracket, correct?
They're both parentheses.
This is a parenthesis too?
Yeah. So close parentheses. Yeah.
Okay, so let me break this down for you guys a little bit about what this means. Help us understand what the error is and how we can fix it. Okay? So, anytime you put something in these parentheses, or I'm sorry, apostrophes, it's going to make the color of those letters purple. And the colors are really useful and they're really helpful to us because they basically become sort of a name that you can think of. Okay? So, Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, you replaced this to here with your username?
I replaced it with the path to the actual folder that we're working in.
Okay, so what you're going to do is instead you're going to keep this parenthesis here and here, but everywhere in the middle, essentially this, okay, you're going to type in, or you can copy and paste the path to where, now which exact path did you have it in, Alex?
The desktop, so C users, my school ID desktop, the Psych433 folder, and then the EEG lab.
Okay.
So you
So you guys see how I did that?
Yeah.
So we're going to come up here, and you're going to go, and as long as you grab that folder and put it in EEG lab, then you can. Yeah. So see how it goes away here? Can you guys all see this, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to kind of put that there. And when I grab all I do is click in that address bar and see how it populates the address. So then you can right click, copy, and paste that into that file, in between those two parentheses, or apostrophes. Want to do it again?
I don't know how to get to the part where you see all of the code.
All right, let's make that happen. I will show you that actually right now. It's a really good question. So, how do we get to the part where we see all the code? Let's see here. Let's go to. So I knew from Alex's troubleshooting of it, I knew where that file lived. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to that file, and it's in our EEG lab folder. So see, went to desktop, here, then I clicked on our folder, then I clicked on EEG lab. See how it populated across? Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this second folder down named functions. Okay, so under functions, I'm going to go to administrative functions, admin. Are you there? And then it looks like it's the file EEG lab options. Here. So when you open that up, it'll probably ask you what program you want to use Matlab, and then go to line 45. Okay, and when you're in line 45, you can right click like this. Up here, right click on that directory that goes straight through EEG lab and hit copy. Is this making sense? Is it working for anybody?
I'm glad.
I know it worked for you, but does it work for you? And you're ready to go? You can type EEG lab in and it populates the blue GUI? Yes.
That'll work for now. We'll see how it goes down the road. We might need to
That's quite alright.
Okay.
Quite alright.
Okay.
Okay. So can you, let's see here. If it's worked for you and it hasn't worked for your neighbor, can you help your neighbor? You guys all good? Is anybody not on track? Okay. Okay. That's cool. We will work this through.
My question's just where to find replacing the
Are you on the same page?
I can't even get to page line wording.
We will make that work.
Okay.
Money help?
You're gonna.
Alright, for sure. I got you.
Oh, you're good. So,
No.
I was just looking for where
Yep. Now save that file, by the way. Save. Now can you show her? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, okay. So snap that. Oh, you're good. You're already set. You're just so close. You're already set. So now you want to come to. Let's see. Just grab a folder somewhere. Yeah. And grab that folder. Are you able to see this?
Totally good at it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll review it first. Then hit administrative functions.
Yeah.
Then go down, scroll to EEG lab.
Okay, it needs to be
Yep,
close.
that one.
Yeah, that's just a little
Okay.
coding thing.
Just go down to line 45. Okay. Yep. So that's fine. Delete that. Then you're gonna go all the way to
You didn't set that.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you didn't do.
No, what did you do again?
Set the top.
Alice. Oh, I put it out and over here. it and don't have to.
You don't have to do it again?
I'm looking at spots where you can paste that directory
Yeah.
of, come back to your whatever it was, come back to, just like that. Now click the white space, right click, copy. Come back here. Paste,
I know.
That's
I don't know this.
Yeah, you press it. That's how I define it.
pretty cool, huh?
You want to try to do it? Are you gonna do it?
You got it?
No, I already copied it, so
Oh, you did?
Yourself?
Yeah, so you move this out, and then, yeah, there you go. Oh, you have it.
Because when I did is I was set the computer and it's put it in the wall.
Oh, yeah.
I put it right here. I had it on the desktop.
Look at that. Oh, I think we actually have.
Exclamation point to the. Here. Right click the white space. Copy. Select the which file. Paste it. Not there. In between.
Are you guys good? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're good.
I know, I'm just kind of back to
All right. Is it not still not working for anybody? Or have we fixed everybody back on? You're good? You're good? One more spot over here?
Yeah, I'm helping her
Okay, thank you, Alex. Everybody else good? That's exciting. I told you guys it would work out, right? Probably none of y'all believe me, but it did. Okay, cool. Okay, so why don't you guys give that a shot then? Let's do what we were doing before. Let's walk through bringing up some of that data. Let you play with some of that. And so you're going to come up and you're going to go to ERP Lab. So see where I'm at here. You're going to ERP Lab and you're going to go to Load Existing ERP Set. Okay? So we're going to go 1 ERP Lab, that's on the menu. 2 is Load ERP Set. Right? So this is there. This is existing. You guys all follow that? And when you do that, it should take you to the ERP file we downloaded, right? So once you snag that, hit open,
Is this working?
and then when you do that, you hit open. Now we can come back to ERP Lab. Now you're going to go to Plot ERP. You're going to go to Plot ERP Scout Maps. Okay? So here, we're going to do 1 is ERP Lab. 2 is plot ERP. 3 is we're going to go to plot ERP scalp maps. Is everybody able to get there?
Did you import, I missed how you imported, did you import the data?
Yeah, so to import, you're going to do ERP Live,
Okay.
and you're going to do load existing
Oh,
perp set.
load existing ERP set, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll find it.
And then after that,
Ah, you're right. So
There
when
it is.
so remind me your name, ma'am?
Bethany?
Bethany. Very pretty name. So Bethany, you're talking about, you're asking what happens after you hit this?
Yes.
It should bring up a big crazy menu, right? Plot ERP scalp maps?
Oh, no, before that.
Okay, so
Nice.
When we're to scan, load
you're going to load ERP set, and it's going to ask you to select a file, and you're going to select that ERP file that we downloaded. The N30.
Plots down here.
Okay. So now you guys should have a menu like this. You good, Bethany? Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So does everyone have a menu that looks like this? Does I always ask it like that. I should ask it this other way. Does anyone not have a menu that looks like this? Okay, everybody's here? Yes?
No, it's not down.
All right. Well, what's your name? Summer? Okay. Reloading set. Reloading group set. There. Plot. Scalp. Okay, so now we have a menu. Okay, so this is again, we go back to our Forrest Gump analogy. Okay? Now you guys are back to being the queens and kings of your castles. All right, and you have your servants. This is your servant. Okay, it's a very complicated servant because it can do lots of things for you. Those are the best kind of servants to have, right? Right, because all you need is one butler, because it's like Bruce Wayne's butler in Batman. He can do everything. All you have to do is have one butler, he'll solve all the problems. Okay? So, it's going to ask us a couple pieces of information, because you guys are going to be able to plot this. Now, we're going to get into this through the rest of the quarter, so I'm just going to give you the information now. Okay? So, in this first bin, all right, it's going to ask for a number, and those numbers correspond to different memory conditions. Don't worry about that now. Type in the number, for fun right now, do 188. Okay, so you're going to 188. Now it's also going to ask you latencies. So latencies are time. Okay, so this is your, you are the queen of your castle. Gentlemen, you're the king. Okay, if you want to be, that is. And so you want to see this pretty picture of brain data, right? So now you're like the demanding king or queen, and you're like, I want to see brain data now. And the servants are like, oh, okay, just what kind do you want, right? They want to know what brain data condition do you want to see in the experiment. So here's where we put the number of what condition. We'll get to this all later, right? Here they're saying, well, during what time? What time do you want to see it? Okay, so what you should do here is type in, say, for now, 600, and then you're going to have a space and put 900. Okay? A couple other pieces of information. It's going to know what do you want to measure here, and you can click this down arrow, and you want to select the one that says mean. Not because we're angry people, but because you guys have all taken statistics and you know that averages are nice.
Mean amplitude or
Oh, I'm sorry. Good question. Mean amplitude between two fixed latencies. Mean amplitude between two fixed latencies. So this is, we're clapping our hands saying, servant, bring me some data. Bring me a pretty picture now, right? And It's saying, great, what condition, what kind of a measurement do you want? Okay, between two fixed latencies. Well, what are our two fixed latencies? Well, it's between 600 and 900 milliseconds. See where we're going? Okay, so there's actually a method to the madness, right? Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to select this option here for the map being 2D. So we're going to do that flat map first. Okie doke. All right, and for fun, you can check this box here to display the color bar, and then you're going to hit this box for plot. Now you should get a nice, pretty, flat, two-dimensional scalp topography map. Do you? Mm-hmm. Yeah? It's pretty cool, huh? Now what you can do is you can come back to this and you can change your times. And say, maybe you want it 200 to 500. Or maybe you want it, I don't know, 900 to 1200. You can see how the brain activity is different at different times. Which you hope it is, right? Because if not, you're kind of brain dead. You want your brain to be changing at different times, right? So you can change the different times that you look at that. And you can see, if you play around with it, how that shape of the activity on the head is different. So why don't you try that for a little bit. See how that changes with time as you play with those parameters. And please raise your hand and ask questions if there's any trouble or error messages, if you can't get here or get it to work. We will slowly but surely work through it and come to some solutions.
What did the bins mean again?
The bins are actually conditions in our memory experiment. So you know our memory experiment a little bit. So 180, so you can hit browse actually there.
Oh, browse.
And it should give you a list. So if you want to know, so we're on 188. Scroll down to 188. It's the difference between. Nope, yeah, you're too far. So you're subtracting the difference between when they said old 5 versus old 4.
Oh, that's the difference then. Okay.
It's recollection familiarity.
Yeah.
So, but the bins just mean what condition. And so when we'll get to this later in the class, because today I just want to show people around when I play and then like see what it's like.
Yeah.
Because we're going to go into the nitty gritty for the next couple weeks and months about actually analyzing other data to get here. But I want you guys to know what like the fun spot is that we get to at the end, and we get to actually play with this stuff. And the bins are basically the conditions that you kind of like you sort your socks, red socks, green socks, and you put them in different bins.
Okay.
That's just a way to categorize your information. Is it working? Pretty cool, huh? Okay. How many of you guys want to do the three-dimensional head? All right. I promise you there's going to be an error message along the way because it happens every time. But we know how to fix it. Okay? Okay, so if you guys want to make the three-dimensional head,
That's fine.
here's what we're going to do. Okay? So you're going to have this. Hold on, let me erase this. Okay, so if you want to go three-dimensional, now you're going to select. Whoop, that one sticks. Now you're going to select the three-dimensional box. But here's the thing, it's not going to work if you just select 3D and hit plot. What you need to do instead is first select this thing here that says spline. Okay? Now what that's going to do, it's going to create a file. So your spline is this file that takes your flat map and gives it the three-dimensional coordinates to make it round and to fit over that head in the right dimensions. So it's the opposite of what you studied about Christopher Columbus in grade school, where the Earth was flat and you had to turn around, you had the orange peel. You guys remember the little orange peel experiment little thing? And you talked about how okay, you didn't, maybe, we'll get it now. We'll do it now. Maybe I'll bring an orange peel in next time. But the idea is that when you look at a map, right, a map on the wall in like 3rd grade is flat. Right? But of course, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Earth is round, right? And so, if you take an orange peel, which represents the earth because it's round, how do you make that orange peel flat when you peel it, right? I mean, how do you do it? You take your hand, but does it really give you an accurate map of that, what the orange is really like? No, it's flat now. And so we're doing the opposite. We're starting with something that's flat, and we're building it into something that has the coordinates to say just how to inflate it over the right spots in the head. I don't know if that orange thing was useful or not, but I hope it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that, you good? Okay. So, we got to give it a file name. So let's hit this spline, and it asks us some information. Okay, I'll bring this down over here. And, okay, so when it asks us this information, we want to know, oh goodness, let's create a new one. Okay? Create a new file. And it's going to ask us where do you want to save it to. And so you can just basically browse, and that'll basically put it in your home directory, your folder, and just name it spline essentially. So you can grab that and then just type in the word SPL. Okay, so that's the step one that we'll do here. Then it'll probably ask you another screen, and you probably want to check that box to save. Okay. Spline. Save it. Okay. And it brings up this other little GUI here. Okay. And it's going to ask us now. Now it says, okay, great, I did that because it's your servant, right? You sent it. It's like your little, you're playing cat fetch with the dog. You sent the stick or the ball out, the dog ran and grabbed it, and now it brought it back. It's like, great, I created the spline file, and what do you want me to do with this new file that you've created of the ERPs? Okay? And so, you're going to want to name it something. So, for fun, just for today, I would just say, just add the number 2 at the end there. And yeah, you can just try doing that for now. Number 2. Okay. Oh, I have an error. You might too. I'm going to say attempt to continue. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I have to close. That's okay. We saw that happen before when I did this last time, right? And we know it works because I got to the 3D head. So, we'll just bring that sucker up. And because what I think ends up working is that by virtue of getting that error, it does save that file, and so now we can just bring that file up. So, if you follow me, I'll see if I can do that. And we're going to set the path, add subfolders, EEG, close, no, EEG lab, lab, load, existing ERP set. I'm going to grab this one I named number 2. And then I can come to plot, ERP, scout maps. Put the same numbers in there, 188. I like, let's say, I don't know, 500 to 700. We're going to do our mean amplitude between latencies. We're going to hit our 3D box. And I'm going to hit plot. Yes, it works. At least for me. But we know it's proof of principle. And now that we know that it works in principle, we can troubleshoot anybody else that has trouble. Notice this time I put it earlier in time. I put it 500 to 7 instead of 600 to 9. And notice how it moved much more frontal. Right? Pretty cool. So I'll walk around and help people as we go through that process. So just wave me down or yell at me.
How did you say we were?
You're going to go to plot, ERP,
Plot, ERP.
scout maps. Just put your settings in good. You want to hit spline. and then just do create.
Yeah, wait.
You good? Okay.
Pause that.
Yeah.
And I gotta go.
There you go.
How do I? Oh, I saved it here.
Well, you don't need to save the picture.
Oh no.
I
Okay.
mean, unless you want to.
Yeah.
Show your friends, put it on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can roll around with it, see how you know, and then you can play around with different time points. Go back to your menu settings, change the time points, and see how it changes in the photography.
Do they have any like tools that are real time? That you're able to like.
You can make movies, yeah.
Yeah,
So if
that's
you
right.
come and go back to your setting, plot ERP, got that. You can do create animation, but I've never done it and I don't know how to. So it might have some errors to work through.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not really something you need to do today. But you can go home and read the documentation tutorial for ERP Lab, this, and figure out how to make it.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I'd be
I'll probably
awesome if
do
you
this.
could make it, because then you could show us, because I've just never bothered to.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool to see it change over time.
But yeah, play around with the parameters, and you might be able to change the color scale too. So, no, okay, you keep the colors. Colors are going to be mistakes. But you can play around, yeah. Oh, you got it over here too, huh? You got it? Works? All right.
60.
You working okay for you? The spine lab? So you do sit back, you just get a few EEG. If you can pull it up, then try also pulling up other versions with different time points on the repair. And you can save these files if you want. You can take screenshots, you save them as JPEGs, take them home, so here's the other thing, right? This is kind of crazy. Because this is the first time we've had the school install the software on your desktops, it's very possible that we might learn that once you sign off from your desktop, it might not save your files. I don't know yet. It's okay if that's the case. We will work around it. We will have a solution. However, that's part of the exploration process. So it's possible that if you save all these files, you can take a little, so for example, I'll show you how to save this as a JPEG. Say I want to post this on Facebook or something, right? You can say File, Save As, and then save your type, change it to a JPEG down here, and have it be like, awesome brain or something, right? So if you like this, and it's fun art, or you want to make it into cooler art later at home because you're an artist or something, and you want to do that, save those files as you work, but then email them to yourself or save them on a USB disk before you log off the computer, just to make sure you don't lose them as we work through this exploration process. Sound good? Yeah. Did you already close out? Did it already work? No. Okay, then go browse here. This one will provide half of this. So then you go to
Oh. We'll make that.
So, just put it in desktop. What will probably happen is save your next line or something. Next line. It's a little janky, but it gets the job. That's okay. You got it? Yeah. Excellent.
That's too fast.
Pretty cool, huh?
It's called psychedelic.
Yeah, and that, I don't know why it gives that hurt, but I think that would be small. So if you guys want to see something cool that Amanda just helped me discover, or she discovered it actually, she didn't help me discover anything, she did. If you want, so here we have one, right? What if I come back to our GUI and we plot it and we change just one little baby parameter, the plot, scout maps, and up here we had done the mean latency between 2 points in time, right? And our 2 points in time are there. Let's change that parameter now to not be the average. Let's just have it be the instantaneous amplitude, the first one. Because now, we were taking the average between these 2 points in time. Now we just want the instantaneous plot at 1 point. But we happen to give it 2 points. Which means, if all things work, that we'll be able to plot 2 at once. And you can face them off. And you can see these are different points in time. Now here's what it shows. This is at 500 milliseconds. This is 200 milliseconds later at 700 milliseconds. That's pretty cool. I never knew that before. I just learned something new. And you can make some cool pictures and save them, or I don't know, do whatever. Pretty cool. Like it, sir?
Keeping me out.
Well, you don't need to do it once. You can get that once? Okay, that's fine. So now I
Oh no. Yeah, okay.
we need to see that slide.
It was crash burn on us too, I think. So I didn't even say that.
Does that make sense? Because now you have two different instances. So now it's just
And then don't press this.
Oh.
Oh, the browser. No problem. Let's see if I can get this thing one more time.
They changed the mean count to reduce just the first one. No, I just I click one and then I just say, yeah, rename it. I just hit replace, yeah. It's good enough. Maybe there's another one thing.
And then just let me know.
Oh, you're putting everything in there, huh?
Yeah, I'm seeing how this goes.
Okay, so far so good.
Yeah.
You ladies, you guys so far so good? Kind of having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is it working okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
Take some cool pictures. And you can get rid of these bars too.
oh, it's tired.
Just repot
That's
them.
how it's tired.
Well,